Welcome to Lead with Clarity. This is a space for leaders who want to grow without losing themselves in the process. Each episode is a short reflection on leadership, influence, and the inner work that shapes how we show up for others. It's not hype, it's not noise, just clear thinking for the journey of leading well. Today's episode is entitled The Question That Changes Everything. Here we go. There's a question that changes everything, not because it is complex, but because almost no one stops to ask it. We live in a world that rewards speed. Get moving, iterate fast, ship and learn. And in many contexts, that instinct serves us well. But there's a moment, a critical moment, that happens before all of that. A moment many leaders skip. I've said it many, many times plainly myself, and those who've worked with me know that I do this. And I say it's very important to pause and ask, what problem are we trying to solve? 6 words that could save your next quarter, or your next strategy, or your next team. Here's what I see consistently, and I've been in enough boardrooms and leadership offsites to say this with confidence. Leaders at every level have a bias toward solutions, a bias for action. Someone brings up a pain point, energy rises, ideas start flying. The whiteboard fills up, and the team walks away energized, aligned, and completely unaware that they spent 3 hours solving the wrong problem. That's not hypothetical. That's a Tuesday. The instinct to move is not bad. Ambition is not the enemy. The problem is that we have confused activity with clarity. They are not the same thing. Clarity starts with a question, a specific, almost inconvenient question. What problem are we actually trying to solve? Now, here's where I see the most common misread of this idea. Leaders hear this and think it means slowing down, taking a step back, having another meeting before the meeting. We know how much we love that. And so they resist it because they're already behind and the market is not waiting. But that's not what the pause is for. The pause is not about deceleration. It is about precision. There's a difference between a leader who is fast and a leader who is accurate. The best leaders are both. And accuracy always starts with the right question. Think about it from a different angle. Every resource your team has, including their time, their focus, their creativity, is finite. When you direct those resources toward a well-defined problem, the return is extraordinary. When you direct them toward a fuzzy one, you get motion without progress. And motion without progress is exhausting, especially for the people doing the work. There's also a team dynamic worth examining here. When leaders do not define the problem clearly, individual contributors define it for themselves. And suddenly you have 5 smart people solving 5 different problems, all under the banner of the same initiative. The collision that follows looks like conflict, but it's really just ambiguity. A clear problem statement is not a constraint. It is alignment in its most useful form. Here's what I want you to carry forward from this conversation. The next time you're in a meeting and the solution discussion starts heating up, pause. Not forever, just long enough to ask the question, what problem are we trying to solve? Write it down. 1 sentence. If the room cannot agree on that sentence, everything that follows will be built on a cracked foundation. And if you're leading a team, make this part of your culture, not as a bureaucratic checkpoint, but as a leadership habit. The leaders who do this consistently do not just make better decisions. They build teams that think more clearly, because clarity is contagious. In many environments, I'd like to think I'm right. The pause is not optional, but it is the work. And it's the question you ask before you start that is often more important than everything that comes after.